January 2020 feels like a lifetime ago now. But the year started in spectacular fashion for the stable when Away Game returned to the Gold Coast just 12 months after she was purchased to deliver an emphatic win in the 2-year-old Classic. The 1st of February at Randwick would prove to be a sign of things to come as Away Game and Prague added Group 3 wins to their resumes, and the racing world would begin to take notice of our arsenal of 2-year-olds.
Going to win both.
Meanwhile, How Romantic was building a picket fence for herself. Her 4th win from as many starts coming into Group 3, Kevin Hayes. And Bonvicini added another group victory for the stable in the Vanity Stakes at Flemington in a boil-over. In March, our world was turned upside down as the reality of a global pandemic set in. As sporting leagues around the world were brought to a grinding halt, racing faced an uncertain future. But on the track, our 2-year-olds continued to shine. The striking Amish boy, he broke his maiden in the Magic Millions 2-year-old Classic at Morphettville, while Prague stamped himself as a Golden Slipper contender, with a comfortable win in the Group 3 Pago Pago. On the eve of the Slipper, Loving Gabby returned to the scene of her previous Group 1 victory, powering her way around the Valley's 1,200 metres to claim the William Reid Stakes.
Gabby in front, she's holding Geetra, she wins the big double.
A surreal feeling with no owners on course that would become the norm for Victorian racing. In Sydney, we saddled 4 horses in the country's richest 2-year-old race. Away Game lost no admirers with her gutsy second. And Holyfield rounded out the month by becoming the stable's 4th 2-year-old group winner in the previous 2 months. In April, Away Game notched up her 4th win in the Group 2 Percy Sykes Stakes. But it was a 7-year-old Kiwi mare having her first start for the stable that delivered our first ever Sydney Cup. The bull without crowds was always going to feel strange. And it's a shame that the hill wasn't packed to cheer a Blaze home as he put on a jumping masterclass.
Bit of a lad, but we're seeing history here. This is 5 grand annuals for the favourite son, Ciaron. A Blaze race clear for turkey legs.
And on an unremarkable Sunday at Bendigo, a 3-year-old gelding would break his maiden and begin one of the most unlikely runs into a Melbourne Cup field in recent memory.
Percent 2 good wins from Old Head.
The winter months provided even more uncertainty, as Victoria was plunged into a second and more drastic lockdown. But racing would provide a beacon of hope in the darkest of months. As the racing year ended, we celebrated our first Victorian Trainers Premiership, and Loving Gabby was honoured as champion 3-year-old filly. Fitting reward for a filly whose career ended far too early through injury. As the new season rolled around, Al Galael, an exemplar, kicked off a strong run for our imported gallopers in Melbourne, while Persan continued to rise through the grades. And as we farewelled Annabelle Neesham, Jack Bruce didn't take long to make his mark on our Sydney stable, and our last season 2-year-olds were growing up fast. Holyfield led all the way to claim the Group 3 Ming Dynasty, while Anders chalked up 2 dominant wins in the month of August at listed and group level, dominating his rivals with his blistering speed. Junipal bookended the month of September with city wins, while Lord Belvedere made it 3 on the trot at headquarters. But October would prove to be a month like no other.
Persan, what a prep it's having, and it's going to run in the Cup.
And the new crop of 2-year-olds were proving that last season was no fluke. Fake Love kicked off her career with a win at Caulfield. And then Enthar lived up to the hype, and then some in the Gimcrack.
Wow, she had plenty on them.
Sneaky 5 took out the Inglis banner on Cox Plate Day. Speaking of Cox Plate Day,
2 going with it, Sir Dragonet running on and Probabeel the fence in the straight at the 150. It's Armory, Sir Dragonet coming at Armory and Sir Dragonet. Sir Dragonet takes the lead, coming clear and joins a century of legends. Sir Dragonet for Bossy.
While there were no crowds, the emotion still got the better of the boss.
I mean, brothers and sisters, brothers, sorry I don't have any sisters.
And that's what the Cox Plate does to you, mate.
Our 3 runners in the Cup performed admirably, Persan justifying his place in the race with a gallant 5th. Sneaky 5 continued the unprecedented success of our 2-year-olds by going up to Sydney and winning the $1 million Golden Gift. And Junipal avenged his defeat in the Toorak with a strong win in the Group 3 Sandown Stakes. As the year wound down, it was a glorious day at Randwick that saw another 2-year-old contender shoot to the top of the slipper markets, as Acrobat won impressively on debut, before Snap Dancer won the very next race, cementing her place at the Gold Coast in January. And the Gold Coast is exactly where the new year will begin. What a year it's been. Not since the Great Depression, when Farlap lifted the spirits of a nation, has racing's importance to the general public been so magnified. And it made us all realise how important our owners and the punters and the general public are to this sport that we all love so very dearly. So, as we say farewell to 2020, let's hope that next year brings more crowds, more winners, and more smiles. From everyone at Ciaron Maher Racing, Happy New Year.